This is One on One. We are thrilled to welcome our good friend Rodney Gilbert, founder and executive director of an organization called Yendor Arts. How you doing?
I'm great, Steve. How are you?
Doing great. By the way, talk about what Yendor Arts is.
Yendor Arts was created to serve underserved populations and artists who kind of their voices weren't heard. I had worked for major arts institutions along the East Coast and decided I wanted to form something that kind of served Newark area, the area here, so that the kids would get to see me on a continual basis working on arts.
To disclose, Rodney works, excuse me, in cooperation with our Stand and Deliver Youth Leadership Development Program. You've made such a difference with the young men and women in our program. Why do you believe, Rodney, arts education is so, and the arts is so important for young men and women in the city?
Well, I believe we all have a niche. You know, some people are athletes, some people are high scholars, and then I think some people are artists. Or the arts can be a way where you find your voice, or you are allowed to take the discipline of the art form and apply it to your academics or apply it to your life skills. So that's been my experience over the last 20 some odd years with youth, that either they have a true artistic calling or they're looking for another way to discipline themselves. And the arts and public speaking has always been a way for you to formalize that.
Beyond public speaking, and that's what we focus on, and Rodney's been so helpful in that way, murals. We're social murals, this mural initiative. Mm-hmm. Talk about it as we look at it.
It initially started as a gateway entry into Newark for people to see the city as a beautified place. This is one of our actual latest murals for 350th at
350th anniversary.
350th anniversary of Newark at Newark School of the Arts, which is almost at its 50th.
Who did that?
Benchmark. An artist, Sterling Brown, and another artist, Malcolm Rowlands, worked on this piece there. 4 stories. Wonderful piece. Wonderful piece.
Pick up the next one, because I'm going to ask you a personal question.
This is the latest piece that got a New York Times mention. This is in partnership with the Lincoln Park Coast Cultural District, and this is about culture and how it bubbles up by a local artist who's a graffiti artist, Turf Wars, Oscar Cruz. Fantastic artist, lives in the North Ward, is raising his children here.
My own stomping grounds.
Yep, raising his children.
Turf Wars.
Yes.
All right, how about this one?
And this is Andrew Priscane. This is on Clinton Avenue, part of the
South Ward of Newark.
Yeah, the Model Neighborhood Initiative.
Right.
So the children can come out and, go over to the mural and ask questions.
What's that?
Oh, my Rutgers volunteers and Steve Green, the artist of the My Brother's Keeper mural, which is an abandoned lot on Hawthorne and Chadwick. Yep, that's that mural that they created with a mural class that I teach at Rutgers, Newark.
When did the arts touch your life?
Ooh, I knew I wanted to be an actor at 5, and I started working professionally as an actor at 10. So I've been blessed to work in the arts for 39 years, a true blessing. But it was so I based my programs on it. It was my calling,
How do you know?
I think through fantasy, daydreaming, I knew that I wanted to kind of place that in what I saw in movies. And then because there was TUI at Symphony Hall when I was a kid, so I saw a play. I knew that I wanted to do that. It took me a minute to articulate that to my mom. And there was an audition, and I said I wanted to audition. She was like, for a play? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, can you act? And I said, yeah, I can act. But I knew that's what I wanted to do. So that helped to shape me. And it was a discipline from theater that I use for my academics, for my life skills, to kind of keep myself on a path towards excellence.
Is that right?
Yeah, with the help of my parents and my grandma.
You say they're not just the arts.
No, they're not just the arts.
What are they?
The arts are a healer. They're a motivator. I think it's a way to have conversations and define who you are. I don't think you have a full life if you don't have art. If you think of a world without art, what do we have? We wouldn't be in these chairs. We wouldn't be in the building. We wouldn't have the suits and the shoes we have. Those are all designed, They're all artistic. And then it's the thing to express who you are. Total sum is mind, body, voice, soul. That's how we communicate. That's what I love about Stand and Deliver.
Well, speaking of Stand and Deliver, what always fascinates me about our program, and it makes me curious about you, because you grew up in the city, you know the city. I grew up in the city and do not live here anymore, but my work is here. As the tension mounts, and is what it is, between disproportionately young men of color and men of color and law enforcement professionals. Do the arts have any role here?
Absolutely.
How so?
It's in conversation. Conversation is art. I could say, I want to engage you, but I can say it in 5 different ways. It's about my tonality, it's about my intent, it's about the rate of it. And I believe the heart comes in everything. What's the emotional context of what I'm saying?
Conversation art form?
Absolutely.
Conversation is an art form.
Conversation
so it
is
says
an
we're
art
just
form.
talking.
Well, we're just talking, but we could have a difference of opinion. I want Steve to understand me, so I might need to slow that art form down just a little bit, or, use tactics that I know are going to get you to hear me, even in a pause.
How is that relevant when you're dealing with such volatile, tension-filled, difficult situations, dealing like police, minority young men where trust is not there very often?
Well, I mean...
where's the art?
The art, first of all, I believe people need to express themselves. If I'm in pain, I'm going to let that pain out. And I think that's what young people are doing. I think that's what people of color are doing. We're screaming, we're ranting, we're raving in certain areas, and you need it. I need to be able to get that out so that it doesn't become internal and, turn inward on me and on my community. I need a place to allow that out. If there's an injustice, my voice, shouldn't be silenced.
In a productive way.
In a productive way.
In a meaningful way.
Hopefully in a meaningful way, productive, as long as we give the parameters in which to do that. Sometimes you got to step outside of parameters. But then after you get past that part, then we start going, okay, what actions can we take? And adults, hopefully can sit down and start to find some justice where there is no justice.
Art has a place.
Art has a place.
Rodney Gilbert.
Yes.
Our friend, who is the founder and executive director of Yendor Arts, who helps the young men and women in our Stand and Deliver program. Thank you for what you do every day.
Thank you, Steve.
You make a difference. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you, Rodney.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato at NJIT has been provided by TD Bank, PSE&G, RWJ Barnabas Health, the Fidelco Group, the North Ward Center, Prudential Financial's Global Communications Department, and by Verizon. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato at NJIT has been produced in cooperation with FiOS One News.